What
He
is
said groomsmen. It's like he were at his
I'm doing
wedding. Dear
so
God.
good. No time. Move on. Next.
Shut up! Talk to Nineball. Let's go.
Good. I'm good. Let's go.
Clap it up, whoop it from the rooftops. You know, scare your neighbor, give your grandma a heart attack. All the nine. You know, all the nine balls.
Oh. Oh.
And he's already beaten the game. Figure that one out, folks. He's only 2.
Kids these days.
Currently I'm enjoying it. It's pretty fun. I'm still at the beginning. I'm actually playing on the PC. So of the other, what is it, 4 of us? Yeah, it's 4 of us. I'm the only I'm the only person on PC. Everybody else I believe is on PlayStation.
Yep, we're on 5.
Yeah, I don't,
Quit flexing over there, Gravity.
You know what? I can't. Just I'll wait my turn.
So excited, he forgot what he's doing.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't. It's so hard to like wrap up how I feel about this game like already. In it's something special. I'll say that. I really think that it's something special. Um I'll save more of it for when we get into more of a detailed discussion because I really want to hear from Mildewy Carrot. Because you're farther than most of us, right? Am I right? 'Cause you've been up since what, 2?
Yeah, so with what they're saying, I've been up since 2 a.m. this morning playing the game.
So
It's
that
currently 6 p.m. our time, and I stopped like maybe like a half hour ago just so we can get on the stream. And that was it. So yeah, I think I'm the farthest along. Um I'm gonna have to agree with all of you. It's a very special game. Like it's very good. It definitely feels like a Pixar DreamWorks with a lot with the cutscenes that they give us. They are pretty much, in my opinion, especially with my set, almost cinematic quality. It feels like it's that good. Um, the animation flow is very well done with those. The gameplay mechanics I find are very smooth. I've done a lot of stuff with that. With a lot of their combo sets that they do, that's very nice. Just the world is just beautifully rendered, even for something that feels so low textured. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. Like I half the time I just sat there staring across, some of these areas and just like wasn't even moving, just enjoying it. Like it's so serene in the game, so beautiful. Boo.
For me so
Excuse
far,
me.
I've been loving it. The controls have been very responsive. Like I said, I'm playing on PC. However, I am using an Xbox One controller for it. It feels really nice. You can actually when you actually move your combat, it's on point pretty much. Haven't really had problems with that. The combat feels very smooth. It's very good. It's very difficult, but I wouldn't say it's cheap difficult so far. So there's two different types. It's the you get one shot by the villain, it's a cheap death style one, or it's the one that's kind of hard. It's hard, but at the same time, it's fun hard. This one is the fun hard category because certain things like health and stuff don't regenerate in combat. So you just can't go to hide behind a wall, take a pop a potion or on Cyberpunk, just down an inhaler real quick, max your health out, and you're right back in combat. So you have to be more thought. You have to be more thoughtful in combat. So it's not really you just dive in with all abandonment. The Another good thing is basically, from what I'm understanding, the moves feel very simple, but how they incorporate them makes it feel really good. It doesn't overwhelm you with like a bunch of different things you gotta do. You ever had like some combo systems and you gotta hit X, X, Y, Y, back Y, forward, something else, and
Street
to do
Fighter.
it. Well, yeah, well, some platformers and stuff have that, and it's just ridiculous.
A B B A B B B A B B up down left right B A.
Yeah, and everybody said it's very Pixar. The graphics are very Pixar. I love the graphics. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games, like, how most games you play, but this is one of the games you can actually probably have your family down there. And just, they could be sitting out, yeah, and just have them watch you play it, pretty much.
difficulty and depictions of violence. I think, if I remember right.
Yeah, because combat, they'll call it,
Yeah.
combat
But
something.
I mean, still a 10 and up though. Not a bad rating for this game.
No,
I mean, I feel like that's more of a suggestion. I mean, like I don't think that like I've ever seen anybody deny just like you can't buy this game. You're not at least 10.
Yeah, I got to card you, son. You look like you're 8.
Yeah. You say that to the
gotta
kid. You say that to the kid who's like 9 years old, while the 8-year-old's mom just bought him God of War, which is M. It's like,
I've seen that before. I don't want to go into that. The dumbest thing ever. But overall, I haven't had on the PC. I haven't had much of the way of problems. I had some, but that was easily fixed. I had to binge. I didn't binge test it, so I binge tested. After that, it pretty much runs excellently. The other problem had nothing to do with the game again. It was a pop-up to renew my antivirus in the middle of the game. Oh, I hate when that happens. Your antivirus is about to expire in 2 days. You can renew it early. And I'm
was that Norton or McCaffrey?
Avast.
No.
And I got, and you get the usual Windows, you need to back up your files.
Like, can my alerts just be like that exact voice? Like, can I just get your voice? Just be like, you forgot to extract your files. You've got mail.
You didn't save, Billy. You gotta save.
Oh, that
You
is
got to
something else
update
too.
Windows.
Load times is almost not a thing on here. I'm playing it on an NVMe. Basically, as soon as I hit the continue, you're almost in the game, like in about less than a second. When it saves, the save doesn't. You know how some games, if you go to hit save, it freezes for a bit.
Just spins and spins and spins.
Yeah, it doesn't even happen on this. Like, it's actually, I would say, faster than Cyberpunk saving. Like, and I know Cyberpunk is pretty some fast saving, but it's been a lot less problems with it. The game's very responsive. I think it's very beautiful. The combat is challenging. It can get very challenging, actually, because some of the bosses I played were pretty hard. But it's not too challenging. The platforming sections are pretty straightforward so far and pretty fun. I do love the rots on there, and I do love how they interact and stuff.
Oh man,
I
those guys are adorable.
By the way, I just made my wallpaper, McKenna. I put it in photo mode.
Oh yeah.
Put it in photo mode, took a picture, and made it my wallpaper now in my background.
It's gonna be the next hour for me, just running around Kenna, just taking pictures, just screenshots, just like
Yeah, I absolutely love it. It's got that a couple times in combat. I've came real close to dying. I think I've died. I would say 3 times. Oh, two. One time I was playing surfing on a slide thing and slid off the cliff. That doesn't count.
He tried to Super Mario to the other lane. What difficulty are you playing on, Nineball?
Oh, I'm playing on normal difficulty. Go on ahead. Oh,
Like, I've fallen off the cliff. Like, yeah.
well, it was a sliding thing for me.
How many of you?
I
All right, I'm
there's
gonna
a
throw a
splat
little.
noise. She goes, ugh.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in. How many of you died just so you can reset your spawn point?
No.
I got stuck a couple of times. I'm just like, forget it.
I was just like, hold on a second. I was getting so analytical with it. I was just like,
something
wait,
else
hold on.
don't follow me.
If I go back here and do this.
Like, whoops, gotta go the other way.
That's been so far. Something else good with me too is this. For me so far, the save points have been pretty good, and plus two, it has an auto and manual save.
Mm-hmm.
Something I love for games to have. I hate when they just have an auto save feature because if you lose your save, You're screwed. Yeah, Cyberpunk
yeah.
has like three. Oh no, Cyberpunk only does autosaves. It has 3 autosave spots. For what I've seen so far. Yeah, it could be an easy contender. So I'm gonna play some more probably, and we're gonna go from there because I want to say yes as a contender, but the year is not over, and there is another game on my list. Well, there's two. One's a sequel, and one's coming out also in October. I'm not sure how many hours. Probably about 4 or 5 hours, maybe.
Now,
Because
have you been sticking to straight main story? Have you done some exploration?
I do exploration. So normally when I'm going from place to place, I'm kind of going out looking for things because this does have like I've been noticing it has branch off paths where you can find stuff hidden. So it's not completely like straightforward.
Okay. I'm just curious to see if you've been like kind of like doing story mode, half and half, or like a full dive with story. You know.
Music's awesome.
There's a lot more percussion.
Yeah.
Malachi's like, I can take it. Little Gremlin's like, all right. Boom.
Or just going balls to the wall.
Eventually, you'll beat them.
You don't like those? Hickman, wow. I forgot about those.
Oh,
Minions.
minions. Mhm.
What? No, you can't use a card, man. Come on.
Yes.
Come on, man.
You know
You
what?
gotta
You
go
know
with
what?
the challenge.
You know
I
what? No,
played the room.
I
I
have
played
Malachi's
Portal
back on
2.
this one. I have Malachi's back on this one. I had to use it. I had to use it twice, and I never thought I was actually going to ever use the card system. I remember like when they were showing the UI for the PS5, I was like, oh, that's cool, I guess. Like I'm never gonna actually use that because I'll just like actually like if I'm gonna look at a guide, I'm gonna go for a guide. Like I wasn't ever gonna like think of this, but no, I'll share more of that when it's my turn. But like continue.
Oh God, I love Tales of Arise. I'm about to after this one. I'm going to Tales of Hysteria, then Tales of Arise. I'm probably going to buy it. Yeah, yeah. It's just I already have Tales of Hysteria. Might as well go ahead and beat it.
Now, what difficulty did you play it on, Malachi? Now,
Okay, just
for
remember. Oh,
everyone, are you playing story mode or spirit guide? Okay, that's because they don't use the term normal in this game. They use spirit
oh,
guide. Story
no,
mode
not.
is
It's
easy. Spirit guide is normal. Um, expert survival guide is the next difficulty, and then they have a master survival spirit guide. Um, it's locked until I believe you till you beat any level, and then they'll unlock master. But yeah, I just wanted just everyone to know that. Just how
oh.
when you hear them say they're on normal mode, they're playing spirit guide. So just for the audience, so that way they're all clear and not like I don't see a normal on here. Is that story mode?
Who's that? Um.
Yep.
Uh.
Upper left. Yeah.
Awesome. So, oh my gosh, where do I even start with this? So just to start off with the difficulty I did uh what was it called? The expert spirit hunter?
Experts.
I'm just testing this out. Test 2 1 2. Can you hear me, Polar Knights? Can you hear me? Keep going there, Gravity Mark. I'll look out for the chat for Polar Knight.
Oh, hold on. Breaker. This is Malachi.
Now I do.
36.
Now he hears me now. Dang! So
Awesome.
all that time, you guys.
You know
So
what?
so real fast, recapping my thoughts of Kingdom Bridge of Spirits. I love the game. I'm playing on medium or normal right now. Music is awesome. The combat's pretty fluent, pretty awesome. I am. The story hasn't fully grabbed me yet. It is my Game of the Year contender. The card system that I've been using on the PS5 has been really, really helpful, handy and dandy. And then the haptic feedbacks on the PS5 controller was absolutely state of the art right now. Like, I absolutely love this game and what I'm playing. Right now, it is my Game of the Year contender. And again, I haven't played Ratchet & Clank, Returnal, anything like that as of yet. But yeah, jury's still out for the full Game of the Year contender. But yeah, thanks again, Polar Knights, because that was 28 minutes of you guys not being able to hear me. So that whole time, thank you very
We're
much.
just going to overlay a sound clip of just minions talking.
Yeah, pretty much. So there you go. On over to you there, Gravity.
So first and foremost, just to start off with, the difficulty that I chose, I ended up going for the expert spirit hunter. So that's like one
Spirit guide.
normal.
Okay.
Yeah, the spirit guide. Yeah. So that, like, as soon as it went live at midnight, I started to play it, and I couldn't decide whether or not I wanted to do normal or if I was a little iffy about like the harder mode. And so I was like, I threw it to Abs. I was like, Abs, which one am I doing? She was like, do the hard one or don't come to bed. I was like, okay. I was like, okay, I'm doing this one. And for a while, I actually forgot that I was doing it on that expert.
Hold
mode.
on 1 second. I can't ignore this. Polar Knight says, I love this is the perfect evolution of beers. Did you guys plan like this? I promise you. I promise you we did not. Because I have like barely anything. Then we gone over to Gravity, who has a little bit more stubble. Then we gone over to 9Ball, who looks like a man. And then we got a person that is a Greek god among all gods. And that is it's Mildewy Carrot. That's awesome.
No, we actually have a group chat where we actually like bust out like the little measurements.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so that's 3 centimeters. Make sure yours is at 6. Yours is at 9. We got to make sure this is you clean shave. Anyway, yeah. So I've been doing it on the harder difficulty, and for a while I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, this is fun. And then it wasn't until I really hit the first boss that I was like, oh, he like slapped me.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, that's fine. Let's just go back in. We'll do it again. He just slapped me again. I was like, oh, okay. And then I just kept going. And about like my 5th or so death, I was like, man, like this is harder than I thought. I was like, oh wait, I'm doing it on the harder mode.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to know though, like even with like the regular, like the regular normal mode, that like even just like getting hit like takes a chunk
Yeah.
out of your because it's still in there. There was a boss that I was fighting that, again, this is spoiler free, but he was 3-shotting me. And if I got hit before that, he was 2-shotting me. And it was, and I'll definitely let Mildewy like go into like how Souls like this is, because I think he has a lot more in-depth information in terms of like how Souls like this is, because I've actually never played a Souls game, but I've played a lot of Souls like games, and so that I was really getting that feeling from this. Mechanics really great. I love the combat system. As Nineball was saying, it's very responsive. I still like, it took me forever to try to get the parry down, because like the parry is like it's very finicky. Like there's like a slight delay. You have to I'm not used to that, so like that I had to get used to that. Haptic feedback on the controllers is just, it's wonderful. It's so amazing. Like it's like I felt like the dork at like who was at E3 like actually using it for the first time. Like, oh my gosh, this is like, I could feel the tension on like on the trigger. Like this is really cool.
Yeah.
Like, and even like the whole controller just kind of like shakes and actually like makes a sound as if you are pulling back and letting go of a bow. And I'm like, that's really, really interesting. Like that's just a whole extra layer deep that they're immersing you into this world. I will kind of, again, I'm not spoiling this, but I will kind of agree with Malachi that like one thing that hasn't really sold me so far is the story. I wish it was a little bit more fleshed out, but like I think it's fine for the most parts. But as you were saying about the cards, like I was saying earlier, I never thought I was going to use those cards. I was like, this is stupid. What kind of loser would want to use that? If I need a guide, I'll just go look for a guide.
Stop for raise your hands.
but I hit a point where like I was trying to solve a puzzle, and I was like, man, like I feel like I have just exhausted all of my resources. The game just came out today. I refuse to look for a guide already. I refuse to be that person. And then I was like, wait, I already have a card for this. And you just pull up the card. It shows you everything that you're currently doing that is active, and then you just select the one that you're doing, and they have like 30 to 40 second like just little videos, and they also have like a written explanation below that where you're like, all right, you're gonna start here, and then you're gonna go here, and then do this, and then this, and then this. And like there was one part that was like, oh, like look for this in this section, because that's gonna tell you like what order to do this. And so I was like, oh wow, that's it. And then I was just like, oh my gosh, how did I not see that? So you're like me, who like, I love puzzle games, but I have a limit. You know, like I do like puzzle games. It's just that I don't have the patience that I used to when I was younger, where I could just sit there for like 5 hours trying to solve one puzzle, where I'm like, if I can't solve it within like 30 minutes tops, I'm like, I need a hint. I don't want you to tell me how to do it. Just give me like a little teeny hint to point me in the right direction, and then I'll figure out the rest.
I wanted to interject and say something here, because I am on. So I am the type of person that I don't really look up a lot of things either myself. I'm in the same boat as Gravity Mark. On Xbox, I was playing 12 minutes when that first came out. Was able to get through about 90% of the game, and towards the end, where I was just trying to get this loop going, like, I just could not for the life of me figure out what to do next. And I had to go up on YouTube, had to find the right video, because not all the videos had this stuff. I had to find the right video, then I had to fast forward to that point of the video just to get to the point that I needed to get to, just to get that past this one point. I was like, this is doing too much. I finally beat 12 minutes. I only had to use the video like maybe twice. I only had to do 2 different puzzles that honestly, if I didn't look it up, I wouldn't have found it. Like, I don't think any normal, sane person would have found that particular puzzle in 12 minutes. But going fast forwarding to Kenna.
Castlevania too hard.
Yeah. TBF Abyss, what up inside the chat? But fast forwarding on over to Kenna though, I was stuck. I actually ran a good chunk. Like I think I spent about a good 20, 30 minutes trying to figure out how to get past this one part, and I had to go back to where I was at previously, and I went ahead and used the card. And when I used the card, it knew what I was already at inside the story, and it just took me straight to that card. It was like, hey, this is what mission you're currently on. This is what step you're on. Not just what mission, but what step. And it went ahead and fast forward me to that step and be like, hey, you have to do this. 30 seconds, didn't have the YouTube video or anything like that. Bam, was right in there. I was like, oh, okay, I just had to look a little bit more to the left, and that's literally all it was. Like, it was something that was hidden behind something, and I just had to come up a little bit and to the left, and it was right there. And I was like, okay, thank God for these cards. I didn't think I was going to use them either, but man, these are fantastic.
Yeah. I never thought I was ever gonna use them. Like like when you're younger and then your parents are like, hey, like don't do this, and then you're just like, why? And then like you see why, and you're like, like when you get older and you're like, oh jeez, glad I didn't do that. And then your parents are like, yeah, I told you. Like that's what it feels like Sony did like with these cards, where they're just like, hey, you're gonna want to use these cards. We're like, nuh-uh, I'm not gonna touch those. And they're like, yeah, we'll see. And then you're like, oh wow, this is great. Thank you, Papa Sony, for this. This is wonderful. And they're like, I told you. Like it. And again, like I've only used them like twice, but because I've only used them twice, like I only need to use them like a couple times. But they're really nice for like when you actually need to, like you're just stuck. You're just running around. It's been 30 to 45 minutes and you're just like, well, I have used my abilities on every single tree I can find, every single rock. I don't know what to do. I don't know where I'm looking. And it was like the one dumb place that you were like, oh no, that's nothing. That's just a design choice. Like that has nothing to do with this puzzle. But like speaking of like aesthetics with it, like definitely like the biggest like aesthetic that I've been hearing from all of us, including like people online, is like that Pixar look.
Yeah.
Like it looks very Disney, very Pixar, and it's not like back in the old days where it was like just the cutscenes and the cinematic trailers looked good, and then like the game was just like super rough. Like this actually, like it all looks so smooth. The frame rates, I was like, my god, like this is like great frame rates. It looks super duper smooth. I've had two like glitchy issues that they're fixed very easily just by like warping away and then warping back just to kind of like reset the area. But I did have one, I can't remember what the first one was, but the second one was a puzzle that I was doing where I had to get my rots to like lift something up and move it. And so I decided to like have them like move something like off of like a ledge, and it like went in the water. And then when they tried to like lift it back out of the water, they like walked into a rock, and then they just got stuck. And then I was just like, oh. And then like I had them drop it. They all left, and then I tried to get them to pick it back up, and it was just gone. Like the asset wasn't there for me to pick up anymore.
It despawned.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh. See, that's gonna be a problem. I need that to solve this puzzle.
So I need that item to win the game with.
So I just warped away, warped back, and the load times are just super snappy. Like it's not like like other games, like especially like on PS4, like just the load times, like if you're with fast traveling, is just atrocious.
It's not Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, it's like it is not the pick up your phone in between loading screens. Like there is no loading screens. It is super quick. It's super responsive. I will say, gameplay wise, if I had to pick two franchises that this reminds me of, other than Souls, aesthetically, I would say it reminds me very much of Horizon mixed with Breath of the Wild a little bit.
Yeah. And
some of the aesthetics, especially for some of the enemies, they kind of like the masks that they wear, like almost look like Majora's Mask.
Yes.
And so like every time I see them, I'm just like, oh, Majora, here we go, let's do it.
Yeah.
Because for me, I was actually kind of thinking of, I don't know, I watched. It kind of reminded me of the beginning of Demon Slayer's mask, the one dude.
Oh yeah.
That was training him when he first.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
It did remind me of that a lot. But like the combat is very reminiscent, in my opinion, of Horizon. But
Yeah.
again, I think that's also something that Mildewy Carrot can speak very much, a lot better to. But like it also like had like it was very puzzly, and I didn't expect it to be like very puzzly. And for me, I was like pleasantly surprised because I haven't played like a good puzzle game in a while. So I was like, oh, this is nice. Like it has like a nice flow of combat. Um, and it even like on the harder levels, like it's not too hard. I've had a couple boss fights like where we're both one hit, and he hits me first or I hit him first. Usually he hits me first, and I just die.
Mhm.
Where like it's for me like as I've gotten older, my patience for gaming in certain elements like has like kind of like decreased a little bit, and so like my patience like sometimes like if I can't get through a boss where I'll just get really, really frustrated. But this is like one of those things where I get frustrated, but I'm like, all right, let's do this again. Like, because it doesn't tell you how to like beat the boss. It's not one of those games where you jump into a boss fight or like you encounter an enemy and then it like freezes, like it just stops and it has like a pop up. It's like, this is this enemy, this is what they do, and this is their weakness. Good luck.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't tell you anything. Like even
And it
like
doesn't. Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
And to me, it didn't really. I would say didn't telegraph. You know how some do real slow telegraph thing, like
Yeah. You better watch out.
Yeah, they do a good job mixing up their patterns, so it
Yeah.
always keeps you on your toes. And on top of that, in a lot of elements, it feels like you're doing a Final Fantasy 14 dungeon by yourself because they got ads that's coming in that you have to fight and everything like that. In some cases, one thing I will say, I meant to mention this earlier. So it looks beautiful on my 4K TV, absolutely state of the art.
Shut up.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Wow.
So
Just throw up the 4K, huh?
no, but here's,
Wow, you're looking really great on my 4K TV.
I apologize for earlier gravity.
Alright.
Stop flexing.
I got. I went to the gym. I can't help it. No, but what I'm saying though is that if you play this game, if you play this game, it actually is better in performance. I normally let it go ahead and do like I default it to what the developers want you to play it as, and then if it's not in fidelity, then I want to see what the fidelity looks like and how it feels. I went to it and fidelity looks gorgeous, but I'm telling you, performance for this game is where it's at when you're playing on the PS5. Performance is where it's at.
I feel it is very, very optimized for the PS5. Like the music is amazing, and I have the bass boost on my headset, and so it like the bass just rattles on my headset, and it feels like I'm in a movie theater playing this, and it's like that combined with the haptic feedback, combined with just the snappy response time that comes with the movements, it's just a whole experience. And then you're like, oh shoot, that's right, I'm playing this game, I'm not watching a movie. It almost feels like you're playing a movie.
Yeah.
Like you're actually controlling the characters in a movie, and it feels so good to play that. What else?
Real quick, for your comment for the headphones, I have yet to actually use my Pulse headset for the PS5. I do want to try that for the second part. So when we talk about that next week, when we have the spoiler review, then I'll be able to chime in as well and be like, yeah, that was awesome, whatever. Because I'm very curious to see how that 3D audio is going to kick in on my Pulse headset. So
yeah, I'm really curious about that too. One more thing before I throw it over to Mildewy is that this game for me, like as I was playing this, just based off of what I've played so far, this is a game I want my kids to play. Like whenever I have kids like down the road, this is going to be a game that I'm like, I know for a fact this is a very kid-friendly game. It's very challenging. It doesn't hold your hand, and it's just something that like I'm like, you know what, I would like my children to be gamers. I would like that to be the case, and so like I feel like it's a great game to like actually get kids to actually start the game, to get them to actually think,
to get them inside the Souls games. That's what that is.
Yeah, like it's hard, but it's not too hard. Like it reminds me of some of the older games from back in the day where like they just didn't tell you how to play. They were just like, all right, here you go, and then everything was
Drop
good
you in
enough.
the middle.
Yeah, they just drop you in, but it's like everything's like common sense. There's enough common sense that like it's obvious to figure stuff out. Like when you see like I mean, just I guess like when you see like a giant flower or something open up, you're like, oh well, what are you gonna do? And it's like glowing. It's like, oh cool, what are you gonna do with that? And it's just like the mechanics are very obvious in terms of what to do. Or it's like it's obvious, but it's not too obvious. And so I think that it would be a really great starter game for kids.
Agreed.
That was something else too that was kind of interesting. Is that during combat, sometimes during combat you have to make certain choices as to how you're going to use your abilities, your rocks stuff. How you use your abilities in combat can make a difference too.
So I did also have this question because you know what, Mildewy, do you know what the difference is between the like the harder mode versus the normal mode? Isn't it like
what I was gonna talk about when I got to mine.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll wait.
I've said enough. I want to one, the only man who has a lot.
By the way,
Jimmy Buffett out here.
You didn't tell us how many hours you've been playing Gravity.
Oh, jeez, I think like 7 to 8 hours, just about. Maybe like a 9 hour. Like I've been playing all day. I played 2 hours like from midnight to 2 a.m. and then I think I played since like 10 a.m. or so. It's
Yeah, Epic Games was a douche about that. That was the only bad thing too, and it wasn't their fault. Epic Games wouldn't let you download the game till midnight.
Yeah.
Oh.
TBF Abyss says Gravity, so you're throwing them into a fluffier Bloodborne right off the bat? Question mark.
I would say so, probably. It's definitely a lot fluffier, but it's because like the game doesn't like make me like outrageously mad at it, but like it's enough. Like I think it's just like the aesthetics are so cute. Plus the rots make the world feel very lived in.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so like if you stop and pay attention to what they're doing, like some of them, like 10 or so of them will like tag along with you, and then like all of the other ones are just scattered around everywhere, just kind of like just dangling their legs off of a ledge, like chilling in a bowl, or like they're always doing something. There's so many photo opportunities for them.
Oh yeah, all this little cutesy stuff. Mildewy Carrot, what is up, man? What is up?
Well, apparently beating y'all in hours on this damn game. So I've been at this since 2 a.m. with, like a couple of lunch breaks and stuff in there. So I've been at this game for about 14 hours. I too, like Gravity, am going on the expert mode. And that was something I was going to bring up starting off with, just to kind of give you guys an extra bit of information. Depending upon the mode you choose, they do adjust the aggressive behavior of the enemies and bosses and the damage they deal. But there's an extra catch too when you get into expert mode. So story mode pretty much, and spirit guide, rot abilities. So story mode, rot abilities will recharge passively, and when dealing damage, enemies are less aggressive and deal less damage. Spirit guide, rot abilities recharge when dealing damage, enemies are aggressive. Expert spirit guide, rot abilities recharge when dealing damage, enemies are very aggressive and deal more damage. So the damage you're taking now, Malachi and Nineball, Gravity and I are taking pretty much almost double that.
This feels like my Kingdom Hearts run, where I played Kingdom Hearts 3 as like a 1 or 2 shot the entire time. Like that's what it kind of feels like.
I'm pretty much towards the end of the game, and let me just say this: I'm walking in with a middle finger. I don't care if it's rated 10 on the final. Just to kind of give you guys an expert, Master Spirit Guide mode is courage is lost when taking damage. Enemies are even more aggressive and deal even more damage. Cannot lower difficulty from this mode.
Oh, you can actually, wow! That's the one after you.
That's Master.
Wow, you can't lower the difficulty.
Yep. So in current games, you guys can change your difficulty. So if you're playing Expert and you're stuck somewhere, you can lower the difficulty. They give you the capability of that. You play Master, you can't do it.
Wow, that's crazy.
But I've been going
It
on
might be a
expert mode.
difficulty beyond that. You know, most games have like Dead Space have like a zealot difficulty
Like a hidden
where
one.
once you die, your character's gone.
Oh, like a
Yeah.
permadeath.
Yeah, zealot.
I would be
I
surprised
don't-
if they don't have that for this game.
It's
or
not-
Doom
they-
has like a nightmare difficulty, which is even like 1 to 2 shots, you're dead.
Well, I'm just saying, like, Gravity and I know expert mode, and it's like Gravity take our damage, probably times it by about 2 or 3, and that's master.
Oh no.
But yeah, I'm going through it on expert, and I mean, pretty much you guys have been hitting a lot of stuff on the head. Like, first off, in terms of visualizations, just this game is beautiful.
Oh, beautiful.
Pixar, DreamWorks level capabilities, just gameplay is you're in the world. Like I said, it kind of feels like I kind of had the first thought of when I was going through it, just a little flashback to Wind Waker, if you guys are familiar with that game. Zelda Wind Waker, with the just kind of like just the very smooth, like almost pastel colors and all, and not going like very in depth with the details or shadings and stuff like that. So it kind of had like a Wind Waker-ish feel, which is kind of like one of the best games I can kind of compare it to right now off the top of my head currently. And then you go into cinematic mode, and like everyone said, it feels like a movie, like you're watching a movie. It's beautiful, and they actually do different cutscenes too. It's not just like just at the end of a boss. Like you get to different areas, you get different cutscenes, you get these effects, and they got these little hints in those cutscenes, like they're telling like literally like you're playing a movie. Like it's that well thought out, well planned for even just a short time play game. Like I said, I've been at this for about 14 hours in expert mode. Yes, Gravity, I see you in the chat saying low since 2 a.m. Not Gravity, TBF Abyss. I'm tired. Abyss is in the chat. Yeah, Abyss is my bro. Yeah, he knows I've been up since like 2 a.m. playing this game. So yeah, just visualizations, phenomenal, fantastic. Cinematics, well done, well thought out, well played, well laid out. Gameplay mechanics are really good. They don't have, like kind of like Nine Ball said, they don't have a lot of differentials. So you've got like a couple different items that you can use, but then that's it. You've only got a few things, and then you're going to be going into combos of stuff. And this kind of plays into Gravity's thing about with his comparison to Horizon. Horizon's kind of the same way. Like you get different tools, and then that's it. Then you have to kind of like combine those elements when you're fighting these bosses or mini bosses, depending upon where you're going, like what you're doing. So you only have X amount of skills, and you have to then change up your style. And kind of like I think Nine Ball said is like when you're facing a boss, you can use different abilities and different combos to still get to the same outcome. So you may find one style works better for you versus the other, because you've got the parry blocks, and maybe you're really good at that timing. You can just parry block them out the door, or maybe you like using your abilities just to do blocks or stuff, like whatever you've got on them, to be able to just fight them from a distance. Who knows? So it allows for a flexible play style, which is very nice, and it really makes it kid friendly almost in a way, because you can do different things. Because there's a lot of kids who will not play certain ways, so I like that aspect of it. It kind of plays down to a Gravity type over like he wants his kids to play. I think this is a game that they definitely could. Now it definitely is very Souls-like in terms of the feel, because of like we said, with especially when just reading the difficulties with the aggressive behavior. Souls, doesn't give you a difficulty, which is the kind of the offset I see with this game, is that it's not straight you go in and you're just diving in like in Bloodborne, Dark Souls, where you're getting just wrecked no matter what. Like you have to be on your toes from boss one. Like you still have to be on your toes, but the fact that you can change your difficulty unless you're playing that master class, the master spirit guide, allows for people to kind of adjust and go through and still get a good story and good gameplay. So I am kind of curious to see how the other gameplays play. Like I said, I'm playing on expert because I want to go hard in the paint, and I'm doing it. So I kind of want to go backwards and maybe see how it feels, going from expert down to normal, or down to spirit guide, and then maybe down to story mode, just to see what was the difference in the aggressiveness of these enemies and the bosses. So, but the fights are really engaging. And like Gravity said, if I die with these fights, they're not fights I'm getting pissed and throwing my controller down and stomping away. It's more of like, all right, round 2, Kenna, let's go. You know, it's like going in, trying to figure out the mechanics of the boss and trying to figure out how to beat them, you know, with their situations. And not only the bosses, but I'm not sure any other mini bosses, if you guys have faced any of those. Like a lot of these mini dungeons and stuff are like, holy crap, you know, you're just like, son of a gun. It's like, I thought you were a boss, but now you're here in the middle of a field fighting me. Get away, you know. They do that in this game, like if you want to go depth into it, and it's really fun, really engaging. So mechanics, the bosses themselves are kind of like what Abyss said in the chat. I'm going to rehash for anyone who's not in there and listening. He said that they changed their attack mechanics based on their health levels. So if you start getting them down like to half health and all, they'll switch it up. Yeah. And you got a whole new attack sequence coming. That's very Souls-like. Souls does that. You know, Code Vein does that. Bloodborne does that. Where it's like you get a boss down to half health, they're either going to transform to a second phase, or they're going to change their attack sequences to make it harder. And I actually, like I said, I have died several times, many times in this game, because like I said, I'm going on expert mode, and there's a lot of these bosses towards the end, especially, they're just like, holy shit, where did that come from? You know, so it's definitely kept me on my toes. So I really enjoy that. That changing aspect of not knowing how they're going to react to you, or like even just like, and I will say this, with what I've found when I'm fighting these bosses, I've come across times where I know their attack sequences, but they're not in the same sequence. So I've had times where I've fought a boss in this game, and I know that it's changed. I've marked it as 1, 2, and 3. I've had them do 1, 3, and 2 on me. I was like, wait, what? Like, where'd this come from? You know, so they change their sequences. Some of them kind of don't change it too much, but it's enough to where you're like, okay. You know, it's like, really? All in all, this game is fantastic. It's enjoyable to play. The puzzles are engaging. I found times where I'm like actually trying to look for puzzles in places that are probably not, there's not even a puzzle. Like, I'm pretty sure if Abyss would probably walked in half the time, he sees me staring at a wall going like, are you gonna move or not? You know, it's like I'm trying to stare at through the mask, like, you know, there's something here. Oh, I know there's not, you know. 10 minutes later. But it's just, they've got so much hidden in this world to where, and a lot of these puzzles too are not advanced complication puzzles. Sometimes it's just like a bit of creative thinking to where you're just like, oh wait, this was over here in this area, but if I turn around and look at this area, oh, it actually goes over there, you know. So
wait, question for you really quick. Mildewy and Malachi, because you guys have both are on the you're both on PS5, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you guys found any of those puzzles yet where you feel like almost like kind of like a heartbeat?
Yeah.
On
I've had them. Yeah. I've had mine, like on mine, I actually do that on a PC.
I've actually found that, yeah, when you actually get towards an area that's got like a rot hidden or like a puzzle or some sort of like, you know, kind of like necessary element, I found that there's sometimes I feel like a heartbeat or I hear a sound sometimes.
Yeah, it'll pulse through the controller.
And, when you're getting close to it.
Like
and it's like you're just like, oh,
when it first did that, I'm like, something over here.
Yeah, like,
I was like looking around. I was like,
I didn't realize it at first.
What?
I was like, oh, what? I didn't even realize my controller was vibrating. I was so immersed in what was going on, and eventually I was like, oh, this is nice. There must be something like, around here.
You don't even have to like. So they give you the indicators on the screen if you're going to something, but they also give you the haptic feedback feel or like the sounds or stuff like with Nineball, towards like you kind of like you're getting closer. It's like hot and cold. You're playing hot and cold again, just like.
Mine is like that. It'll start vibrating.
Where is it? You know,
you'll get like a little bit of like a heartbeat and a like pulse, and I'm like, okay, so something's happening here. When it first happened, I like stood there and started looking around. I was like, is it like a boss here or something?
Yeah. One thing too as well that I've been finding myself doing is like after the pulse, I started finding myself. Every like 20 seconds, I'll do the cleansing ability just to see if there's anything hidden. Like I do that literally every 20 seconds because it's just like I don't want to miss anything that's around me. Like I don't want to have to come back to this or anything like that. But go ahead there, Mildewy.
But yeah, it's the puzzles are very engaging and intriguing, and a lot of them are actually pretty uniquely built. Like you think you got the mechanic down, but then they throw it in a little extra twist. You have to do something extra, which is nice. It's not just straightforward puzzling. So, and it goes off the story too, which is nice. And there's some points where it's actually you have to backtrack. It feels like, you know, because I looked at some elements that was in there, and there are some things where I came across where it's like, all right, you know, this might be for a later time, you know, to where then you have to come backwards for it, you know, especially in the village area. You'll see that in the village a lot. Like there's elements in there that you're not sure of, but those are for like later dates for sure. The extra little side mission stuffs with these, I think I can go ahead and just throw this in here. There's something called spirit mail in the game.
Oh yeah, I got
Very
one
nice.
of those.
Very nice.
Yeah.
It adds extra elements to the game too, in terms of like a little extra combats, you know, like little mini extra boss fight sequences stuffs and all. So it's really fun if you go for it. Like I think it's not necessary, but you know,
It's worth.
it's worth it. I'm going for it, you know, hardcore. And they're fun to find, you know, because they use puzzles when you go to the box. They actually give you some hints and clues, which makes it even more interesting when you're playing the game and trying to really kind of dive into that world. You know, it kind of gives you that extra connection to where you're at, the village and all, and not just based on just the straight story. So they've got really good elements in there. So they've got some really good gameplay capabilities, and I think replayability as well with this game. Some very good replayability. I did run into some glitches in there, but they're not the ones I'm complaining about. There was one at the very beginning when you're kind of running in up to the village and all. There was a ledge that I fell through one mesh and got stuck between two. I was like, well, gotta go back to the main menu and, you know, back out, which the autosave, fantastic feature. Please keep it. Everyone else who's listening, who's a game developer, please copy it. It's phenomenal.
And the
and
load
then-
time.
the
Short.
load times are non-existent. Like I've had time, I'm like, oh, that's a nice background. Wait, I'm in the game. Crap.
I'm curious to see TBF Abyss, if you have any comment on this inside the chat. Are the load times for you still like, are they pretty quick, or does it feel like a standard like PS4 load game?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You
Like
have to pull out your phone and like check like your texts and emails like when you're in the middle of it.
He says, LOL, I had to restart once due to water graphics in the river disappeared and I couldn't do anything. There are no load times really. That's good. So yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, Ember Labs, and it's crazy to think that this is an indie developer. You know what I mean?
They
Like
did
this
a
game
really
is
good job.
really good. Yeah, they did a really great. I only had one glitch myself, but and it's very similar to how Gravity's was, to where it was like I needed to get a mechanic to move an object, and they glitched out, and I couldn't do anything with it. I couldn't even move it back to where it came from, so I knew I had to leave and then warp back. That was the only glitch I had. Outside of that, nothing too daunting at all.
Well,
For mine, it wasn't nothing bad. I had a couple instances. I had like, I think once or twice of screen tearing, and I think that was from my monitor, not from the game. Because once I set the sync up and stuff, it was fine. And a bit of slowdown, which I think again was something in the background because I had, unfortunately. Well, yeah, that's always running in the background, but then you got Microsoft, and for some reason Blizzard was running. You kind of forget they're there.
But I also I broke the game a couple other ways. So if you ever get to any of the bosses and they have those AoE attacks,
Yeah.
try not to time your chain attack to them too perfectly, because I've actually killed them when they're doing those, and I'm stuck in a slow sequence. Like literally, I'm moving at like slow-mo speeds because it's still technically considering me in that knockback feedback. Yeah, I've killed the boss. So I've had to exit game on that like 3 times already and go back and have to refight these bosses. I'm like, son of a gun. because I changed it too perfectly on them.
Have you tried to save it, like manually save it after you killed them?
It won't. It didn't let me do it, as far as I saw it. But it just. It's funny that I pulled that off 3 times, and the only other glitch I had was I knocked a boss, and she went straight through the the poly mesh of the ground, and then popped up behind me and ulted me out. I'm just like, wait a minute!
Wow.
I'm like, hold on! I thought you were broken, but no.
That's crazy.
It wasn't a glitch, it was a mechanic.
No, it was not a mechanic, Nightball. I was fighting this boss for a good 20 minutes. It was not in their kit at all.
Of existence.
I was just breaking this game a couple of times. I'm just like, holy crap. But all in all, I definitely see this as a definitely Game of the Year contender game.
Yeah.
It is beautiful, well built. Ember Labs, round of applause. Bravo. Bravo.
Seriously, agreed.
I do want to do a quick round table of 2 quick questions. I'm going to start with a 9-ball, and then we'll just go the same. Actually, we're going to go reverse this time. We're going to start with Mildew and then end with 9-ball. Is this, do you see yourself platinuming this game?
Why do you think it's taking me so long to play it?
Just a simple yes or no for our audience.
Like, literally, I've been trying to platinum it. Like, I'm got a couple areas almost fully knocked out for finding rot. Which, by the way, one thing we forgot to mention. Actually, I don't know if it's a spoiler. Do you think it is with the carts?
With the cards?
The carts.
Oh, I wouldn't do that right now.
You don't spoil it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, the rots are fantastic and cute. But I've been trying to find all the pieces and elements. There's like extra stuff you can do for cleansing in the area because like your spirit guide and all. Trying just to get all those pieces together, which has kind of really helped me along in this expert mode. A lot of stuff and just finding extra things and points and all is really interesting and very cool. And there's extra stuff for the main bosses too that I found. So there's a lot of hidden mechanics.
Heard that.
And that is what really intrigues me. It's really have kept me going this game. So I definitely agree with Gravity. It's got a very Horizon feel to it in terms of mechanics and all. I kind of felt a little bit of Tomb Raider-ish with some of the features of like, with the staff and bow. And then there's just those hidden like seeking elements with Tomb Raider and Horizon, like where you're just finding those extra spaces, those extra areas and stuff, in this world that, can help boost you and not, through the game. So like I said before, well done. Just well done.
Yeah.
Good job, Ember Labs.
I would definitely say they do reward you for your curiosity, which I especially like when it's like an explorative, like there's enough like of an explorative element to it. I love it when a game will like reward you for your curiosity, where like if the game's telling you to go left but you have the option to go right, you're like, I'm gonna go that way. I'm gonna go see what's over there. And then you go down there and you're like, oh cool, like there's this item down here, there's this over here, oh neat, like I learned this ability over here, and then you get to go back to where you were and now you're like buffed out. Although I think for where I'm at, I think I might be a little underprepared for it, even though I don't feel like
You're not prepared.
I'm stuck on a boss right now.
I'm gonna say there's definitely it goes back to that Souls thing. It's like if you don't try to level up, which this game doesn't use levels for those who are curious, it uses karma, a gem, and then that's it. Like Nimble said, there's no health pots, there's no potions, EXPs, stuff like that. It's when you're in a boss fight, which is I didn't touch on, which I'm kind of ashamed of myself for not doing. So hold on. All right, there we go. They are very challenging in the aspect that they'll give you like maybe 1 or 2 healing stations in these fights.
Yeah.
And then that's it. And then you just have to you have to knit and grit it.
It's your own skill.
And like it's
stuck in the clench those cheeks, boys. It's going to be a bumpy ride, you know. You're
like,
just balls to the wall half the time, you know. So there's sometimes I'm just like,
Yeah.
you know what? Let's just YOLO it and I'll die and try again, you know. So
there have definitely
happens.
been times where I've messed up the very beginning, and I'm just like, all right, just kill me. We got to start this over. Hold on, we're doing this over again.
I've had that too, and here's the funny thing: whenever I do that, I'll be like, oh, all right, let me just die. But then I'll think about it. I was like, well, I don't really want to die, and then I'll beat him. I'll beat him with like a sliver of health left. I'm like, oh crap.
I generally do.
Well, you're on Spirit Guide, so.
Well,
Yeah,
me, it's always been like that for some reason.
Why the dad pun? That's Malachi's role. That's what TBF just said.
So yeah, TBF, just for clarity, TBF was in the chat saying it's a on my comments. He's like, he's like finding rot is a pain in the batucles, and I said, is it rotting your mind? And you know,
He's like, why the dad pun? That's Malachi's role.
he wasn't doing it. I had to step in. I'm sorry. He's acting too much like a kid playing Kenna.
It is so much fun. Seriously, this game, and because like I don't know if you guys get this with a lot of like even like with AAA titles as of like the past couple years, there will be games you play where like you just kind of like expect the very beginning of the game to just be very slow paced because it's going to be bogged down with like cutscenes and like tutorials, and you're just like, I just want to get to the game. Let me do the mechanics. Let me do this. Let me do this. Just let me go. I want to figure it out myself.
Yeah.
This game doesn't hold your hand at all. Like, I didn't realize how, especially on like the harder difficulty, how important the parrying system was. Because like in a lot of games like this that have parrying as a mechanic, they're like, hey, press this to parry. I'm like, I'm gonna test that.
And they totally gave you that tutorial enemy.
Well, like, yeah, because like
it's like, just
geez,
only strike.
Like especially like with parrying systems, I try to test to see how much of the game I can get away with without learning how to parry. Like if the parry's not like super easy, or like if it's like one of those like parry systems like you have to get it at just the right time, like Souls, where I'm like can I just like go and smack them with my staff until they're dead and just keep dodge rolling? Like you could dodge roll a lot, but I didn't realize how heavily it's like, especially like with some of the bosses where like you have to parry them in order to like open up any sort of combos with them.
Well,
it made me feel very much like, and I know you can contest to this, Gravity. It made me feel very much like Strangers in Paradise, the Final Fantasy Souls-like. And, yeah.
Yes, it did. It felt a lot like that. It didn't really tell you how to parry either. It was just like activate your shield at just the right time to parry. And that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. Although they do like play like a little animation, like if you actually go to like the move, where like you can like it'll show you like when it activates, and so like I had to like watch that like several times through to be like, okay, I have to wait till just this exact moment, because when I was trying it myself, I was just dying. I was testing it out on a boss where I was just like I would just run into the boss and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to parry, let's do this, and just nope, okay, round 2, let's do this, all right, let's go, oop, nope, okay, here we go. It was just that for 20 minutes, and eventually I was like, okay,
where's the tutorial?
I need to figure this parrying thing out.
So they definitely, with the tutorial for this, they'll show you like a little mini clip of like doing it against one enemy.
Yeah.
All these enemies in this game have their own unique combo sets. You got to figure it out with each of these units. You know, now they sometimes, I feel like, have like rehashed some of them with some of these bosses, but it's like, you know, like I said, there's times where it's like where I fought a mini boss and then it's like they're out in the field, you know, they're going to use the same combo set, but they're still freaking annoying as hell. You know, so it's like you still got to learn the moves and the sequences to really go through a lot of the game to use parrying. I do like they give you the option to fully dodge roll, because I use a combo of dodge roll and parrying, because there's times where I'm just like, I'm not blocking that. That thing's going to rip my shield apart, you know?
Exactly.
Nope. Like, oh, you're just going to slap me with a sword? Please, you know? They give you, like I said, that capability of so many different choices for your combat to handle each enemy differently. You could just choose to dodge roll them all. You could choose to try and parry them all. You know,
there was something that was different on theirs too. Is that, to be honest, I don't really think it's immunity frames in your dodge roll. I've actually gotten hit out of a dodge frame.
Yeah.
Yep. There are, especially with like hard hitter AOE styles. Like I've literally have been hit like those, especially like anyone's if they use like any blasting capabilities. That is annoying as heck if you don't get out of the range of it. Like if you're still within like a section of it, unless you do another dodge roll really quickly and can get out of that blast before it hits you, like that radius expands and hits you, it's going to knock you out. It's going to stun you out of it. So I really like that though, because it makes you take the consequences of your actions. So if you think you can just dodge roll the whole game or like dodge roll only certain things, they're going to be like, oh, you thought, did you?
I did.
So,
I did thought.
Yeah, I had a lot
thought I
of
could
them.
get away with it.
There was a lot of
thought
them
I
that do
could.
that, and you're just like, there's a lot of them that do like an AOE jump slam, and you're just like, really? You know, it's just, I still don't, like I said, it's not a frustration of throwing the controller down. It's more frustration. I'm like, all right, round 3, let's go. You know, it's that much fun.
I do have 2 quick questions for you there, Gravity. First question is, did you remain on hard, or did you scale down to normal at any point of this game?
So far with this game, I have not scaled it down yet. I have just been like slamming my head into this brick wall until I break it every single time. And because like that's the thing about it is like just like Mildew
you're a
Kara
Viking.
was saying. Yeah, like it just like because I don't, and I don't know if it's, I don't know what it is specifically, like if it's maybe because of like the design choice that it has, because it's a very soft feel to it. I don't feel like as mad. I think it's like maybe the wait time in between dying and trying again is so short
Yeah.
that you're just able to just quickly jump back into it without having to like be like you just slammed into the ground, and then there's like an entire like 20-second cutscene that's just like them smashing you, and they're like, "You're dead!" Ha 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 ha.
It's not like
And then
Castlevania
loading, loading.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more
So
like a
what-
Doctor Strange ending of the ending of Doctor Strange movie where he just keeps getting killed and come back, keeps getting killed, come back.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's go. All right, ready? Round 35,
Yeah.
ready?
You don't have
Like,
time.
are you gonna keep doing it?
You don't have time to get upset because you're just right back in it already. So,
Well, it's
yeah.
not that. For me, it was just I noticed the mechanic to where I messed up at. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's what killed me. All right, I need to keep an eye out for that.
And you're able to like slowly creep forward, and like you guys were saying, because they change up the combat, the more you chip away at their health, like every time you go in you learn a little bit more, but the more you keep chipping away, there's more for you to learn with that particular enemy, especially a boss or a mini boss. And so with that harder difficulty, like you go back in there, you're like, okay, he's going to use this combo, he's going to do this, and then this, then this, and this, boom, got it. And then he starts to do it again, and then you're like, oh, that was an extra hit in there. He just threw a whole extra combo like on top of what he just did. So now you have to take that into account, and it's kind of like a game of Simon where you're just like blue, green, blue, red, yellow, yellow, green, and then like it just like keeps stacking on top of that, and you have to keep remembering what it is. But it's not like super frustrating. Like there have been like I've been stuck on this boss since probably I've been stuck on this boss for over an hour. I will say that. It's
We'll talk after the stream, Gravity.
yeah, I won't like no spoilers as to which boss it is, but it is definitely a boss where like I feel like I can do it, but every time I can get their health like that much, and then they're just bleh, dead. Like you have to be paying attention the entire time. You have to manage your resources, because especially like with the rot system, like you have to determine like if you're in the middle of a boss fight, you might only have like 2 like little healing flowers, and so you have to manage like when you're going to use your rot to like use the flower, or when you're going to use the rot to like attack the enemy, because there's certain enemies where like you can actually like do some extra stuff with them, like with your rots. And so you have to like say like, okay, like am I going to use this one for an attack, or am I going to save this one just in case they hit me again, because I'm probably going to mess up and I'm going to almost die. But that's another thing about like dying that I've noticed, is that like it's almost like Kingdom Hearts Leaf Bracer. Like it feels like an automatic Leaf Bracer, where like even like if your health is like that little, they'll smack you, and then you'll have like you'll be 1 hit left. So like
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
I haven't had that. I've had it if I was low enough for a boss to hit me and kill me, they're taking that opportunity. they're not giving me the second one.
I'm not sure if it's. Have you seen it, Nineball?
Yeah, I've seen it where they'll hit you, but they'll take you down to the red. It'll show up as
So
like
it's like-
little red sliver.
It's like a little like red like blur at the end of your health bar. It's like just like right there, just sitting. Like that's a final hit shot.
I die. I die before it gets to that. I know what you guys are talking about. I know what you guys are talking about, but I'm just saying, like, normally it's the small little ads that get me to that point, if anything. But if I could be out of that little one last hit bar, and that boss hits me, if it's like a boss, I'm gone. I'm not getting the little, oh, you got one more chance. Nope, they're like, nope, Cam, you out of here.
Well, I'm sorry the game hates you.
It does. It really does. That's what it tells
playing
me.
Master.
I guess. I thought I was playing normal.
It was a super duper pre-order bonus. You just automatically.
I mean, I did order the deluxe.
Difficulty.
That's
Yeah.
Playing Super Saiyan mode.
One last thing I definitely want to put in on that, especially with the boss fights and all, is I think it was Nineball said that they don't telegraph their movements, which they really don't, but they do in a way. So there's times where you'll see them take a stance, but you got to react to that stance because that's just a warning. That's just like, all right, I'm gonna beat your, like literally, like they will 3-chain combo you, and that's when you can die. Like they give you one warning, and then that's it. And that's if you're paying attention, because like a lot of times you've dodge rolled out and then you turn around and they're already in the stance. You're like, how long have you been in? Oh, you've been in that for a minute, haven't you?
Yeah,
I'm reload.
Man, like,
you know?
but I'm saying it's not like as bad as what was that game we watched, and they had the gameplay trailer. I think it was just me and Flash, and we watched was the samurai guy had to go save his daughter from the demon. Chick
yeah. That was the I sent that.
That was in the
guys.
Xbox.
No,
Xbox.
No, it was it was on one of the streams. It actually hasn't shown up on any platform.
No. We watched that with the Xbox one. I remember because it's when he's in the village and they're hunting the demons, and his daughter was there and had the really bad voice acting.
That voice acting, but that wasn't at the Xbox one.
That was, I know we watched that on a stream.
We watched it on our stream.
Like I know we watched it like with like one of the event things, but I remember that like it's way better than that. That telegraphed like that held up a Roadrunner side said, I'm gonna attack you with the left right combo.
She was up in the air for like 5 minutes with a bear punch, like, yeah, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. It's like your mom that keeps threatening you. If you do one more thing, I swear I'm gonna take this hand and I'm gonna hit you in the face. Do it. Do it. See what happens.
I could probably like that better than Papa Boss from Canada just like beating them down.
Real quick. I think you might be talking to Abs, but when you do you plan on platinuming this game, Gravity?
Yes, 100%. I absolutely plan on platinuming this. The only other game I've actually platinumed is Ghost. But even then, I still haven't gotten into the like the DLC for Ghost. So
I haven't either.
I need to dip into that so I can platinum that.
I apologize for both of them. You know, don't kill him.
Yeah, I want to.
He's been going hardcore to that. He loves that DLC.
Yeah, Iki Island. I really want to. I just haven't actually come to it.
It's so good, but I will say because I played that game like with the Japanese voice actors, like when I would see the commercials for it, like it would be in English, and I'm like, oh, what is this? It's like the English voice actors aren't bad, but like when you're just used to seeing them like speak Japanese, and then all of a sudden they're speaking English like this, and you're like, whoa, oh shoot, like is that Jin? Jin, is that you?
No, just watch that trailer. Just watch that trailer, and you will have a new appreciation for that guy.
Yeah,
that voice acting was bad.
Sound like a college kid, you know.
No, it sounded like somebody just didn't care. Like he didn't want to be there today.
Well,
like,
the guy in the trailer was fine. It was the little girl that was really off. So
they was she just sounded so bad it covered his
She
up.
sounded like an older sister, and he sounded like the younger brother. Yeah, it's definitely.
yeah, and yeah, we're talking about a different game. I can't remember what it was
Anyway,
called.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Back on
It's that
track.
bad. It's not even worth remembering. It was that bad.
but this game, Can of Bridge of Spirits, it's in a sense, like, especially like story wise, because I'm not gonna spoil anything story wise, but there are elements of it that I will say kind of are reminiscent to The Last Airbender. I will say.
I was thinking the same thing when I was playing it.
I was getting like some of those vibes like playing this.
Got a
And,
bit of Bleach.
yeah. it is so much fun. Like
Mechanic wise, for sure, yeah, I see that Nunball.
like it oh my gosh, it's so much fun. Like there's several times I've had to have Abs come out here and I'm like, Abs, put these headphones on really quick, just listen to this music. Like, Abs, like, just shoot some arrows really quick, just feel like haptic feedback, like feel this, like it's there's so many layers to this. And to me, like, this just goes all the way back to when they finally like announced the PS5. They announced like haptic feedback. Like even like for me, like when I looked at haptic feedback, I was like, oh, like, is that gonna be like actually interesting? I don't know. I was skeptical. Now it adds like an entire extra layer like to the gaming experience. Like it really does. Like because I gotta say, like, Sony Sony, bravo, like getting this off the ground. PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, you guys gotta step it up. Like, this is like it, because like it really
Nintendo
does. Like,
is announcing they're gonna increase Bluetooth.
Yeah.
you mean like the Bluetooth
he
was
means
already in there,
gravity
but they
means
just chose not to use it.
yeah, gravity means
It was in there the whole
Nintendo step it up to 2021, not 2007.
Dude, you know what? They're still using fax machines over there. Everything has to be like paper copied. Like they just don't like have like a whole lot of like internet like accessibility to stuff that a lot of like other Western countries do. But that aside, the game is so good, and it's like it's simple and straightforward enough to where it just opens itself up to you and it just lets you explore it. And like I was saying, like with the rots, they really make the whole world feel lived in, because like as you like start to collect more, like I think like only like a max of like 10 follow you, but then you have like all of these other ones that they'll just pop up everywhere. Like some of them will be behind you, like some of them will be like if you're like walking like on a bridge or something that has like a guardrail, they'll just be like just in a row. Some of them just walking, some of them sitting, laying down, like some of them just like dangling their legs off. Like they're so adorable. They're so cute. They're absolutely going to be the next Minions. People are going to go nuts for these guys.
They already are. They were going nuts before the game launched.
But I do want to say this with because I believe it was Malachi that was saying this. I do wish that there were a little bit more variety with the rots. Like, yeah, like I would just like have like at least like 3 or 4 different designs. And then just like every time you find one, like it's just like oh, there it is. Because like I think even with like Breath of the Wild, like with the Koroks, like didn't the Koroks have like a little bit of variety with them?
I don't know why. I just heard you say Clorox.
Clorox.
Well, I mean,
yeah, like Clorox, that has some variety. It's not all the same Clorox, is it? Like, are they just taking the same Clorox and just putting them in different containers? And
you guys were mentioning like kind of comparing like story mechanics to like a little bit like Avatar, Bleach with 9 Ball and all. I kind of felt, and you guys can argue with me on this later once we do the next Tuesday. I was feeling kind of Princess Mononoke-ish.
Yes, definitely.
I really got a heavy vibe with that.
I was
this aspect. Like, yeah, I feel like there's a lot more connections there with that story in a way. Like, not saying true to it, but I feel like there's more connections there with that. But yeah, I kind of agree with it. A little bit of differential in the rots wouldn't hurt, but I feel like to me personally, I just feel like there's a reason they're that way. Like, especially as with the more I played in the game, and I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna ask like have you guys to say how many rots you've got, but because you can go through the world and collect more rots, I feel like there's a reason that they're kind of the same. So
I
I
feel like
think it's a
asset
part.
wise,
I think there's a reason for that. So, but it's like I feel like that's something that as you go through the game, they'll probably explain it or you'll learn more about. So, um, but I do agree that it wouldn't hurt. But I mean, if they can explain it pretty well, I really didn't have a problem with them at all.
Yeah,
Because like the only times you see them, like Gravity says, like you see them like interact with the world to fill the world to make it look lived and alive, but you don't have a full face on view with them because they're these little guys. And a lot of times you're just moving through the world trying to get to things, trying to just get your chest, open up your barrels, go to the next boss or get these items. But they're there. They're just kind of there in that side in the background, that little filler, but looking so cute and adorable while doing it. So me personally, I really didn't have a problem with that.
I will definitely say well, a few things. One, where I'm at currently with the story, I don't know if there is a reason for that, but again, just because of where I'm at. But I also want to throw out there that I mentioned this before. The one that's on your shoulder looks different than the others. So that already there is already something that was just like, all right, you made one different, but the other 700 look the same. What's going on there? And then the second thing I'll also say out there, which I'm going to say next week. So I'm not going to say it today, but there's a certain thing that happens with them that I'm like, okay, so you probably could have done something a little differently here. Like, so that way they have their different characters and stuff like that. And it's not like you never see them. When you unlock them, there's a full-fledged little mini clip of you seeing them close up. So I think in that sense,
but
trying to give them, and that's perfectly fine. But I think if you really wanted it to be like a little bit of like this is the Pixar PlayStation Studio Minions. This is what this one looks like. It's the little cute one with the dress on, or this is a cool looking one with the Fonzie haircut or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not exactly like those, but I think it would have been really. It's not a bad choice to make them all the same, but I think it would have gave them more definition, more variety, more of like all right, these are really different types of spirits inside your arsenal. There, it's almost like you can actually connect with these little guys. So
you can almost argue, like I said, when I kind of compared it to Princess Mononoke, like the spirits and the tree spirits, they all look different and all too. But like I said, I think because of certain aspects that happen in the game and the way that you can use the rots and
some of the creatures and Princess Mononoke.
I feel like I said, I just it's just this inkling of a feeling like I haven't gotten I've gotten farther in the story probably than you guys, but it's like I feel like there's something there. But I feel like I said, like you see them in that one cutscene, but you don't see them enough to where, or like up close and personal, unless you're actually looking at them, to where that it becomes such a glaring issue. Like I said, a lot of times like you're like kind of just like back and forth. Now, if you're doing like those photo edit modes, which they give you in the game, where you're like you wanting to take those screenshots and all, then I definitely see that it's probably where you could get to it. They do different sizes of these guys, so you've got the different sizing and all. And I've seen several of mine like literally like growing up. Like it's like okay, I don't know if that's an aspect of the game because of what I've been doing and how I've been playing, but. I feel like there's something going on there, that I just can't see, but that's just me. That's just me.
Before I go ahead and give my platinum run and 9 balls platinum run, we still have to do our ratings. But I saw that you had your hand up there, Gravity. Did you have something?
Oh yeah. So I just remembered this part. Another aspect, especially like when it comes to puzzles and just interacting with the world in general, I also really love how they don't shy away from like elevation. Like they don't shy away from like having you like look like stupid up in the air to find the next piece of the puzzle that you're looking for. Like it's not like a flat game where they're just like, oh well, like here's everything on this floor and then here's everything on this floor. Where like the terrain very much so varies in a lot of places. Where like there'll be times where you're like trying to figure something out, like you're trying to figure out how to get to another ledge, and then all of a sudden like you just like look up like in a really weird angle and you're like, oh oh, that's what I need. Like, I need to hit that, or I need to like look at that, or I need to do something like with this. Like, I like the variety in which like you can kind of like move from like down to up and like up to down. Like, it flows very well, like all around in this 3D world where it's very much so. It doesn't give me that boring feeling of like you're on the ground floor, then you're going up some stairs, and now you're on F1, now you're on F2. There's just it's just all the same room, and you're just kind of like going all over the place. And I really like that, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah. As far as for me, real fast, for platinuming it, I don't know if I'll actually platinum the game. I'm enjoying the game a lot,
Okay.
and part of that is because I've never really been a person to platinum games anyway. But maybe if the story grabs me more later on as I'm playing it through it, then I might reconsider and actually be like, okay. And also depending on how difficult that platinum would be, that's also going to be a factor in there too as well. Part of the reason why I platinum Ghost of Tsushima is because not only because I loved it, but because when I looked at the trophy list, I only had like 6 more to go. So I was like, all right, well, let me go ahead and platinum this game then. I like it that much, and I literally like almost 100%ed it. I still have yet to even platinum Final Fantasy VII Remake, and that's one of my favorite games, period.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Are you sure you're ever gonna be able to platinum that one?
Oh, I will platinum that one. But I'm just saying,
there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot to do with that
2077.
one.
Camera, get your platinum Final Fantasy VII.
Hey,
Yeah.
I need another 40 trophies with this
I'm
latest
working on
expansion.
it.
But I was about to say though,
I'll get
I was about to say as far as this one goes though, like I am enjoying it. I do find myself exploring when I'm trying to actually follow the main plot. I do might see like, oh, what's over here, what's over there, all that good stuff. But as far as platinuming, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to platinum this game. We'll just have to kind of see if how that story will go, and if it grabs me enough for me to be in this world longer than beating the game. Because I don't see myself revisiting this game as a replay anytime soon. Maybe down the road, like same thing for Final Fantasy VII for me. I beat Final Fantasy VII years ago, and then a couple years later, I was just like, you know what, I'm in the mood to play it again, and I'll play it again. So I think I see Kenna having that same energy, and again, that's not a bad energy to have. But I don't know if it's gonna be platinum worthy on my particular scale. 9-ball, platinum or nah?
I've almost
never
platinum.
Can you platinum a game on PC?
I'm getting achievements.
Okay.
Are you on Steam or Epic? I can't remember.
Epic.
I think they
Only-
do still allow.
They allow it. I've been getting achievement as I've been going.
So
I just need to check to see if they are.
He can platinum it, but it's not going to be like a PlayStation Platinum.
Yeah,
So
that
he'll
just
be an
occurred to
Epic-
me just now.
he'll get some epic Fortnite coins.
There you go.
Hey.
Here's some V-Bucks. Buy
Yeah,
another
those
skin.
things.
Mm.
And it's
But
from a
yeah,
second
for
party
me-
site because it's allowed now.
Yep. But for me, I definitely see myself playing it. I see a lot of things in there. I mean, I even see actually, and I was thinking about it when Mildy was referencing Princess Mononoke, and people are going to find this reference weird, but League of Legends. There's a particular champion Bard that runs around collecting meeps.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people didn't play Bard because Bard was either the champion that you either had a god tier Bard player that would, CC everybody, or you had a retard Bard player that would CC your entire team. Because Bard's alt could screw your entire team over. Let's just put it like that. That's an argument for another day. But he had a similar concept to where you would go around in the jungle and you would collect these little creatures called meeps. And the meeps would empower your attacks. It has a similar thing, except for the rot look a lot more, fluffier and cuter. And,
Even though they're named Rot.
yeah, even though the name Rot. To me, I see myself playing this again. Because eventually, if it ever gets low enough, I can maybe even get it on PlayStation 5 and try it on that. This is one I probably will replace. I'm going to put it with my Hellblade category, where I can see myself doing it again, see how many achievements I can do. Can I get 100% on it? And probably won't because like I said, I barely platinum games. But this one would be one I would definitely look at going again to play again.
If you had to give it a scale of 1 to 10 rating, what would you rate this game? 9-ball.
Right now, a 9.
Okay. I am actually going to put it in the 8 range with the increased possibility of it being a 9 depending on how the story goes. That's really the only thing that's kind of holding me back right now is the story. It's not bad. It's just nothing that's super investing me right now. That's the only thing. Outside of that, if story was already like impeccable, this would easily be a 9 out of 10, maybe even a 10 out of 10. But yeah, that's the only thing that's holding me back right now is the story. Gravity?
Yeah, for me, if this game had the story level of Ghost of Tsushima, I would probably be giving it a 10.
It's same. If it had Ghost of Tsushima level story, I'm giving it a 10 for sure.
I honestly I'm gonna give this one a 9 because like this one for me like hits a lot of really great points for me. Where like for me the voice acting, like most of the time, like there's been like 1 or 2 characters that I've listened to where I'm just like, oh,
somebody's dialing it in.
It's not even that like I think like that they're bad voice actors. I think it's just like the director who that chose that line was just like, yep, nope, this is good. You sure you don't want me to redo this one? Nope, we're good. Like just a couple of them have just been like, that's
running late for lunch.
Little rough. Yeah, well, because like most of the characters, they sound like they're actually the characters, and then there's some like just a couple here and there where they're just like it sounds like they're playing a character versus like actually like inhabiting that character and becoming that character and like actually sounding like they're in that world. But like the story like so far for where I'm at right now, it's nothing spectacular. Like it's just enough to kind of like push the narrative of the story forward, and it's enough to push the mechanics forward enough to keep you playing. But like for me, like if it had like an even better story, it would be absolutely a 10 out of 10. But with the music for it, the like all of the graphical effects with it, the gameplay with it, so far everything else for me way up there, so I got to give it a 9.
Okay. What about you there at Mildewy Carrot?
Oh, I'm gonna give it 9.5 out of 10.
Ooh, it's got to add in that extra 0.5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say like I would probably definitely give it a 10 out of 10. I mean, like I said, I've run into a few glitches. I'm trying to finish the story. Once I finish it, I probably will give it a 10 out of 10. But right now, it's 9.5 out of 10. It's well made. Graphics are good. Like I said, the only glitches I found are when I myself did stupid timing stuff. So that's like, okay, I think that was on me, not on the game. Just, two things I didn't want to mixed. So, game mechanics, fantastic. Controls, smooth, motionless. Loading times, non-existent. Cinematics, beautiful. In-game animations, beautiful. Sound qualities are all good and all. And one thing I noticed that I forgot to mention is with the sound qualities, did you guys notice this when you're going from like zones that were not infected to a zone that was infected? Did you notice the smooth transition of the sound?
Yeah.
It was a beautiful subtle fade out, like you're creeping away from the goodness, and then you're slowly going into the dark. Like, and then when you back out, it was just so beautiful, just so good and so well done. Like that was like, ooh, so good to me. No, I definitely give it a 9.5 out of 10 for sure. Like I said, probably once I beat the game fully and I understand more of the story, I'll probably give it a 10 out of 10. But I want to go that little extra bit before I give it the full 10. So
before we go on over to It's 9 Balls hand raise.
I
do want.
Got the question.
I was about to say I do want to throw out here that with that being said, with the ratings officially in, ALWT Gaming had rated this on a 10-point scale an 8.9 out of 10. That's where it currently sits at, which is really good. If you think about that, that is, if you see the 5 stars that's on our template on YouTube, it's the 5th star is almost all the way filled. It's just that little fin that's not filled up. That's the only part that's not filled up. That's what that is. So 8.9 out of 10. That's not bad at all. I highly recommend. all of us, regardless of what our ratings, we can highly recommend this game to anybody that's wanting to jump into something Pixar-like, Souls-like, adventure-like, puzzle-like. This game, even combat. This game has it all. It's definitely worth the buy, especially with the starting point being $40, with the deluxe being $50. Come on, that's a steal deal. That's a steal deal.
Oh,
Yeah, I got the deluxe for I think mine was it was 50.
Yeah,
it's
that's
50 for the.
Did we all get the
deluxe?
deluxe? Is that what we did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Steal
mean,
deal.
I mean, yes, we got like a new skin for the staff. We got a gold rod.
Soundtrack.
I wanted the soundtrack. Mainly, that's what I wanted because
Mm.
even when you just like pull up the UI screen on PlayStation, when it was just downloading, getting ready for it to get the key and all, just that background music itself was enough to sell me to say, I need that soundtrack now.
TBF Abyss also got the deluxe. So even our chat went deluxe. Come on, guys. Just get the deluxe. Give them your money. Ember Labs deserves it. Ember Labs deserves it.
They earned this
Here goes something I did notice. I raised my hand to ask, but I did not see a day one patch.
I didn't. Yeah, you're right.
No.
I didn't.
Yeah, there was none. And like I said, the only errors I came across was like I had the one where I kind of fell through, but that was a one-time thing. I think I did something stupid, and the other ones was my timing glitches, and I think that was just me breaking the game mechanic code to where they're like, "Wait, you can do that?" I'm like, "Apparently, I did." So I don't feel like there was many errors besides those just like one-offs with Malachi and Gravity.
So I will say this: there wasn't a day one patch. This is a first IP for this at this caliber for the studio. I don't know if they have other games before, but at this caliber, this is the first IP period. I will say though, with it being a smaller title, I guess I'm not really surprised that there's not a day one patch because this is on the same scale as a Miles Morales, Lost Legacy. It's not going to be a full 25-hour experience for you to play the base game. So
I've seen some that came out that's shorter than this and was in pretty bad shape.
And that's terrible on them. Hopefully they're out of business.
Yeah. but because this is a new lab, this is a new like producer and all, a new IP for them. The fact that they, as a new developer, what feels like to me as a new developer, because I really have not heard of Ember Labs till now, they have not had a one-day patch. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good. Put that on your resume, Embers. You know, say, yo, look at this right here. And the only problems was because timing issues, you know, and that you could easily look into that later with code fix. But I can guarantee you, there's not gonna be many people who can do it. Like I did 3 times, and that was it. 3 times and 14 hours worth of gameplay.
So this looks like it might be their only game they ever created.
Yeah, that's what I'm
here's the thing.
myself.
Ember Lab produced the award-winning short film Dust and the acclaimed Majora's Mask fan film Terrible Fate. The success of their commercial
love that.
Yeah, the success of their commercial and independent projects led them to develop their own passion and project. And first game, Kenna, Bridge of Spirits. So it's their first game is Kenna, and they started off like this. They started off like this. This is crazy.
That might be where I'm seeing a lot of the Majora's Mask comparisons, like especially with some of the enemies, because some of them, like the masks, like really do look like that. It's
yeah, that's it. That's fantastic.
I can see that with the minions and minion enemies in the game for sure. I could see that with Majora's Mask. The mask and all, like I said, I feel kind of speaks to me with Princess Mononoke in a way with the mask that they have there, but I could definitely see Majora's Mask for sure in it. But the Ember Labs, bravo,
yeah,
bravo.
Gotta give you props, Ember Labs. So yeah, so again, if you guys want, we're gonna next Tuesday we're gonna talk a little bit more. I don't want to say more in depth because I feel like we actually dove pretty heavy into this, but we're gonna talk more about the spoiler portion of it. And just talking about like bosses specifically, characters specifically, how we feel about the story, where it's at, how we feel about it a week later. All of that is going to be discussion for this coming Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be on the lookout for that on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all of that good stuff. Just type in ALWT Gaming. You guys should be able to find us out on YouTube. You might have to type in At Least We Tried Gaming because at least we tried. I do want to throw out, because we are pretty over on time, so I'm just going to quickly go through this on reviews. It's all good. This is what it's all about. On reviews, GameSpot gave it a 9 out of 10. IGN gave it an 8 out of 10. Game Informer gave it a 9 out of 10. And Metacritic currently sits at 84 out of 100. For the Fantasy Gaming League that we're currently at, and if you get
13.
13 currently. I'm going to refresh it just in case it updated. But
it's been updating really weird recently.
Yeah, but so currently the Fantasy Gaming League works very similar to how fantasy football works. Instead of it being a weekly thing, it's an annual thing, and you're not against one person at a time, against the whole team at all times, every part of the day. 100-point scale. Anything above 70 points gains you points. Anything below 70 points lose you points. We also have a counter picks in there where you can screw your opponents up. My first game finally had launched recently. I'm representing ALWT Gaming. Deathloop got me at 18 points. Halo Infinite pending.
Ooh.
Final Fantasy 16 pending. Far Cry 6 pending. Solar Ash pending. Call of Duty Vanguard pending. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hinokami Chronicles, that's pending. I cannot wait for that game. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know if that game's going to do well, but I know that game's going to speak to me. So I'm very excited for that.
It looked fun.
Yeah. And then I had a counter pick of God of War Ragnarok, which is confirmed not coming out this year. That's on Ohio's list. Zaka TV has its being represented by It's the Nine Ball. You have one game left, my friend. You got one game left, so we got to see if you're going to sweep first place with that. He has Resident Evil Village, we got him 14 points. Returnal got him 16 points. The Medium got him 5 points. Ruin King, a League of Legends story pending to come out. Oddworld Soulstorm got him 1 point. Guilty Gear Strive got him 16 points. Mario Golf Super Rush got him 1 point. Life is Strange True Colors got him 11 points and is a counter pick of Breath of the Wild 2, which is confirmed, not coming out on Silence list. Carrot Patch Inc. by Mildewy Carrot is sitting in first place second place actually right now. Has Monster Hunter Rise, has 18 points. Kenna, which we just talked about, got him currently 13 points, but that can be subject to change as reviews are still coming in for that. Shin Megami Tensei 5 pending. Psychonauts 2, 19 points. 12 Minutes, 5 points. It Takes Two, 19 points. Diablo 2 Resurrected, pending. Age of Empires 4, pending. And he has a counter pick of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, pending to come out. Fantasy Football by Silent has Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 not coming out. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart got him 18 points. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is not coming out. New Pokemon Snap pending. Axiom Verge 2. New Pokemon Snap 10 points. Axiom Verge 2 8 points. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl pending. Battlefield 2042 pending. Scarlet Nexus 10 points and as a counter pick of Back 4 Blood, which is coming out next month. Unless
I think that's gonna hurt them.
It probably will. It probably will.
I feel like that one's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Illness be like, but it's interesting because he's at a point right now where he's gonna it's either he's gonna jump up to second. I don't see him winning this, but he could jump up to second possibly. Third. He could jump up to third possibly. But he's not gonna get last place with the score he currently has.
No. He'll be placed, but he's...
No, that's reserved for somebody else.
We'll get to them last.
Illis Be Live, currently sitting in first place with 74 points, has Bravely Default 2 with 8 points. Near Replicant version 1.224744871139 has 13 points. Little Nightmares 2 has 13 points. By the way, I say the number sometimes, every so often, whenever I'm in the mood to say it. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach pending. Dark Pictures Anthology House of Ashes pending. Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin 11 points. Tales of Arise 18 points. I gotta try that game. Neo The World That Ends With You 12 points, and he has a counter pick. Final Fantasy 16, which I'm not feeling too confident about anymore. You shut up! Shut up! We're going on over to last place, Ohio, who has God of War Ragnarok, which is not coming out. Back for Blood pending. Humankind 10 points. Evil Genius 2 World Domination 7 points. Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance got him negative 11 points. Biomutant, which got him negative 3 points. He has 2 game. I think he gave up this season. And he has a total of 3 points currently on that. So that is your current ratings right now.
With the counter pick of Halo Infinite.
Which is coming, looks like it's coming out December 8th.
So who's winning?
Showing up
TBF Ambition says who's winning right now. LSB Live is winning, which is one of our guests on the show by 1 point. He's above Mildewy Carrot, who has 73 points. LSB Live has 74 points. So there you go.
So what does the winner get?
Bragging rights.
What's
Free.
really just bragging rights? You're not doing anything like nothing for the winner, like not even like a trophy.
No. Not this year. Not this year. Maybe
yet,
maybe next year. I might go ahead and give it like a little like a tradable, a shareable trophy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll go ahead and do something like that.
You know what?
I can dig that with the ALTW group and saying like, hey, I'm the one who this year picked all the right games.
Yeah.
It's like, no, next year I lost. I have to hand it off to 9ball.
Yeah.
Malachi for some reason keeps picking Final Fantasy 16 and he never comes.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
2078.
Throwing out here, this past Thursday, it's the 9ball and Mildewy Care had live reacted to the PlayStation 5 event that happened. And here are the current games I had listed out for it. But first is Andrew Heisman from Review Geek. Says Sony's 40-minute PlayStation 5 showcase was a doozy, featuring surprise announcements for all new games and new trailers for upcoming or delayed titles. Here's the trailers for each game announced during the Sony Live event, plus more up-to-date release date info. And you guys can go to, again, Review Geek to take a look at the full, the actual videos. But the games that are coming out are God of War Ragnarok. Cannot wait for that game. Spider-Man 2. Cannot wait for that game. Wolverine. And that was Wolverine. Surprise announcement there. Gran Turismo 7. I actually can't wait for that game. Star Wars Coder Remake. I'm interested to jump in. Yeah, I know you guys can't wait for that game. I cannot. I'm interested to jump into it at that point. I did actually went ahead and bought Coder, the original, on PC because it was like $4, and I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and the first
game was it?
It was Coder, and that's the Old Republic.
Oh,
yeah.
Remember they're doing the remake?
Yeah.
I went ahead and bought the original, so I can try to jump into it and check it out.
Have fun.
Uncharted Legacy Collection, which is on PS5 and PC now. Coming to PS5 and PC. Titcha, which I was not interested in. Kid Amnesia. Didn't care for that. Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Project Eve. Project Eve looked interesting. Deathloop, which finally no more reviews or any more trailers, but I know that that's a good game.
You don't want another trailer saying it came out?
No, I'm good. Blood Hunt. Actually excited to play that with you guys on PS5. Guardians of the Galaxy. Coming out next month. Rainbow Six Extraction, Ghostwire Tokyo, GTA 5, no one cares, Alan Wake Remastered, Forspoken. I cannot wait for that game.
Oh, that one definitely looks.
Yeah, Forspoken looked
really
fun.
What? Nobody cared for GTA 5 launching?
Anyway, go to story number 3.
What's that? Tell me more, 9ball.
So I did just want to throw this out there. I've already played a little bit of Blood Hunt on the PC.
I did too, yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. Abs has been playing a lot of it.
Yeah,
I've got mixed reviews on Steam, so I want to read to see what they're saying. But to be honest,
it's gonna be free.
MOBA.
I
know it's free.
Yeah, it's gonna be free.
It looks like the standard MOBA, so I'm okay playing with you guys.
It looks and feels very early access. I'll say that.
Yeah. I will put it on Steam as early access, right?
Yeah, I will say, that's one of the things. At least for Blood Hunt for me is that I know I will like that game when I'm playing with friends. I don't think I'm going to like it just like almost any other mode like Battle Royale. I'm not really into Battle Royales by myself. Yeah. And even the most recent one, like I like Hunter's Arena a lot, but I like it more when I play with friends. So yeah.
I'm just saying with Blood Hunt, it like even like right off the bat, like right when she started, she was like, yeah, like it felt like every other game, like it just felt like there were so many like sweaty people in there who were just already really good at the game.
Yeah.
Like right off the bat, where she's like, geez, like didn't this just come out?
Yep. This is that Battle Royale community.
You got those guys who just sit in their basements all day, like, oh, I'm God, as they sit in their chair and just eat Cheetos, and drink Mountain Dew.
Or get yourselves a Raised Energy drink, which you guys can get yours at ALWT. Just Rep Sports, REPPsports.com. Type in ALWT Gaming at checkout. Get 15% off. That's 15% off. Get your Raised Energy drinks off of your water supplements, your workout powders, your guava mangoes, your grape bubble gum. All of that. Quite delicious stuff, if I should say so myself. The last story that we currently have, and again, if you guys want to check out our reaction for that, if you guys want to check out our reactions to the PS5 event, just go to YouTube, to type in ALWT Gaming at checkout. It should be one of the newer stories, or you can go to our website at www.alwtgaming.com and check it out there, as it is up on our social media posts for unlimited time. Last story that we had for today was music on Twitch. James Carr from GameSpot says Twitch has struck a deal with the National Music Publisher Association after months of animosity between the music industry and the Amazon-owned streaming giant. As reported by Variety, the arrangement is not a full-on licensing agreement, but instead looks to be the basis for a partnership between Twitch and music publishers. The announcement states that Twitch has created, quote, a new process that participating music rights holders can opt into to report certain uses of their music to address when creators inadvertently or incidentally use music in their streams, end quote. Based on the announcement, it seems like the deal between NMPA and Twitch will make it easier for music publishers to track down and report streamers who use their music. The deal does not appear to change the rules regarding music usage for streamers immediately, who have had to deal with the onslaught of DMCA takedowns in the past year. The announcement also states that this deal will pave the way for some music publishers to opt into potential collaborations with content creators. NMPA President and CEO David Israelites said that the deal will benefit both the music industry and the Twitch community while giving respect to the rights of the songwriters. The majority of the announcement talks about the tools and benefits given to music publishers, but doesn't specify how this deal will benefit Twitch streamers. End quote. As long as I can at least if we're watching a PlayStation event and they play licensed music, just don't copyright it. Don't ban it. Like that's all I ask. Don't try to take it down. It's not our fault that they're using that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I mean, situationals, definitely report situationals. Like, if you're gonna post things too, I'd say, hey, this is gonna probably be streamed or people are gonna watch it. They're gonna have it on there. They're not reselling it. They're not replaying it consistently in their backgrounds. It's just because of this one stream, which is just a reaction.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, guys. No, you need to pay me $100,000. I'm the artist of that. I made that. I'm like, yeah, but Sony broadcast it to the freaking world. How many other people do you think are copying and video and cutting and pasting the whole thing?
And even goes even further. Like I'm a dancer, so like I used to make a lot of dance videos, and I started getting to the point where I just stopped making dance videos. I would make a lot of dance videos because I would create something to their song, and it would just get blocked or it would get taken down, or I can't make any money from it from the viewer portion of it because their music content's included in that. And I'm like, that's free publicity for you. You're not losing any money from this, and I'm making dances for it. So if anything, I'm like, I might be getting even more eyes on it for you or whatever. Like,
and how many people are just watching Twitch just for the song? Like, I was sitting here and all of a sudden I decided to watch this entire Smite video because he had NK playing. Like, who does that?
So, you guys might know a little bit more about this than I do because I'm not the sports guy here. So, do you guys know when you go to like a live sporting events where they'll actually play music at the sporting events?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how does that work legally? Because there are some sporting events where they play a decent portion of a popular song. And I'm like, well,
they have to have some sort of contract.
Well, actually, I don't think they do.
The artist,
I don't think they do. The reason,
is it just one of those because it's a different style of?
It's not streaming. It's not streaming. Streaming in general.
What if you're streaming the sporting events?
So then the stream.
They'll cut the music out.
Yeah, but I was about to say when you're at a sporting event in general, that's a live event, and they're playing music which 90% of the time is actually paid for anyway. But it's not going to be anything like, oh well, you're going to be playing this at the NFL. Well, you have to go ahead and pay us. Unless you do a halftime performance, they're not going to be obligated to really pay you anything. Now again, if it were to broadcast on TV, which is on the air. For some reason, that's a little different when it comes to music. Then they just go to a commercial instead. So it's not going to be anything to where they just have to pay the artist anything because technically it's not a national broadcasting. They're showing their they're sharing the music at a local event. So I don't know. It's just so weird when it comes to stuff like that. But again, when it comes on over to online, that's a whole different monster because sounds can be implemented, sounds can be altered, and everything like that. And I guess in some cases, sounds or music can even be stolen and trying to be copped as their own. So like if Drake made it, I could I made this song.
For years.
Yeah.
Far before Twitch. People were stealing music for years.
Yeah, which is true, but at the same time,
pirating.
I
remember MySpace.
The thing,
my day there was MySpace.
The
P2P,
issue though,
like LimeWire and all that.
Yeah, the issue though is that like the issue that we're at now. I mean, I am all down for stopping people from trying to steal music or download free songs and stuff like that. The problem is that they're punishing everyone now. It doesn't matter what you do. That's where the problem comes in. So
a lot of Twitch streamers had like they had like I believe a bunch of Twitch streamers came together, had like a national shutdown day.
Yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, they ended up boycotted streaming on Twitch that day. But it wasn't just music. It was like there were certain like hate speeches that were going on, and Twitch would be like, "Well, we're looking into it," and then nothing would happen.
Yeah, that too. But another thing I was noticing with that whole thing is basically a lot of them was having trouble with the Twitch was going through your library and getting like videos. They was getting strikes from videos for years ago.
Facebook does that too.
Yeah, no, they was going back because he was like, all of a sudden they put a new law and then just retroactively putting strikes on people. Because one guy was like, I got 2 or 3 strikes from a video from 2 years ago.
Yeah, literally, Facebook did the same thing because there's been a couple times where even this year, while I'm just be chilling there, just playing my little mobile puzzle game or whatever, and then I'll get a Facebook alert and I'll click on it and it says, "Hey, this video's been taken down or blocked because you're using copyright content." And I look at the year and it says 2010. I'm like, what?
11 years later.
Yeah, literally. And I'm just like, and I reported a couple of those before, and I started getting a little bit more, how can I say, FIFA-like in my responses as the emotion started heightening. If you catch my drift. So my last message to them may have not been the most professional. But I went ahead.
Was it very strong worded?
Yeah. I was very passionate. It was very passionate, I would say.
If you've heard him play FIFA and he misses a goal multiple times, it's beyond passionate.
But yeah, so ultimately, in retrospect, this particular story, it's good news. It's a good step in the right direction. We just got to see now what Twitch, how that's going to fully benefit us. As long as it doesn't like give me a strike or like again block our video content to where we can't just freely post it or promote it or whatever. I could care less. But yeah. So guys, that is it for ALWT Things Gaming episode 65. Again, our Kenna Bridge of Spirits little review. It's a good chunk of this, about an hour and 30 minutes. Yeah.
Little? Yeah. I was about to say, I'm like, we spent almost like an hour and a half just praising Ember Labs and that. Gravity, stop playing.
But so if you guys want to stay tuned for the spoiler review, is going to be the spoiler review.
I'm looking at you.
The spoiler review is next Tuesday.
Gravity's just being obvious about it.
The spoiler review we're going to open up with next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to dive a little bit more into it. It won't be as long, but it is going to be something that we're going to give our full-fledged thoughts and, again, just really see where we're at a week later with the game. Again, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. We love you guys. This Thursday is going to be Smite Night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, we're back to normal times. And Bailey Lee, who joined us last time, and it was a good time. So let's see if he's going to do it again with us this coming Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until 10 p.m. Nothing this Saturday, and then all the way back to Tuesday, which is ALWT Things Gaming episode 66. Like the books in the Bible, son. Until next time, everybody. Control, Alt,
Complete.
Peace.